Today we stand on the precipice of something extraordinary, a moment that transcends time, space, and human understanding. This is not a moment to simply witness with your eyes, but a moment to feel with your very soul, a God moment. You are about to experience something that, once witnessed, will forever change the way you see the world. It will transform the very core of your being if you let it. The universe, it seems, is aligned in such a way that the improbable becomes possible, and the impossible seems just within reach. But what, you may ask, is a God moment? It is the kind of moment that shakes you to your core, the kind of moment that feels so divine, so miraculous, that it could only have come from a higher power. It's that instant when everything seems to align perfectly, when the chaotic elements of your life fall into place and you find yourself standing in awe of something greater than yourself. It's not just a moment of success or of achievement. It's a moment that transcends your understanding, that fills you with awe and wonder, that gives you a glimpse into the divine. And I believe with all my heart that you are about to witness one of those moments. Maybe it's already happening and you just don't know it yet. Maybe the miracle is unfolding right before your eyes, but you have yet to recognize it. That's the beauty of these moments. They're often subtle at first, only revealing their true significance when we look back at them. But no matter how it happens, no matter how long it takes for you to see it, this moment will change you. Throughout history, we've all heard stories of extraordinary events, miracles that defy logic, moments of grace and beauty that change the course of lives, the parting of the Red Sea, the healing of the sick, the stilling of storms. These are the stories that speak to our deepest longings for the divine, for something more than the mundane, something that connects us to the Creator in a way that words cannot describe. But here's the thing. Those moments are not just found in ancient texts or in the stories of saints and prophets. No, those God moments are all around us, waiting to be seen. They happen in the quiet stillness of a sunset, in the laughter of a child, in the embrace of a loved one, in the peaceful silence that follows a storm. These are the moments when heaven touches earth, when the eternal intersects with the temporal, and when we are given a glimpse of the divine. Now, I want you to take a moment and look around you. Really look. Take in the people sitting beside you, the world outside these walls, the air that you breathe. What do you see? Do you see the divine? Do you see the beauty, the grace, the potential for greatness that lies in everything? If you do, then you are already starting to witness that God moment. But if you don't worry. It's okay. Some of us need a little help seeing what's right in front of us. A God moment is not always flashy, and it's not always something that can be captured on film or on social media. It's not always the big showy miracle that grabs headlines. Sometimes it's the quiet whisper in your heart, the gentle nudge that tells you to move forward when you're afraid, the unexpected kindness of a stranger, the sense of peace that washes over you in the middle of chaos. It's the little things that point to the greater truth, the divine truth that is always present, even when we can't see it. And so I ask you, how often do we overlook these moments? How often do we get so caught up in the busyness of life that we miss the beauty that surrounds us? How often do we let the noise of the world drown out the voice of the divine? The truth is, we all do it. We all have times when we are blind to the miraculous, when we are so focused on the problems, the challenges, and the difficulties of life that we forget to notice the wonder and the awe that is right there in front of us. But here's the good news. God moments are not limited to the past. They are not confined to specific places or people. They are available to each and every one of us, no matter where we are, no matter who we are, no matter what we've done. That's the beauty of divine moments. They are gifts, gifts that are freely given to all who are willing to receive them. And I know that you, standing here today, are ready to receive. You are ready for the miracle, the blessing, the grace that is about to unfold in your life. You might not see it yet, but it's coming. It's already on its way. And when it arrives, when that moment hits you, when you feel it deep within your bones, you will know that you've just witnessed something extraordinary, something that only God could have orchestrated, something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. Maybe it will happen in the form of a relationship restored, a dream realized, a burden lifted. Maybe it will happen in the quiet moments of your everyday life, in the conversations you have with friends and family, in the love that you give and receive. Or maybe it will come in the form of a challenge that at first seems too much to bear. But when you push through, when you overcome, you will see the divine hand at work, guiding you, shaping you, transforming you into something greater than you ever thought possible. And that's what a God moment does. It transforms. It takes you from where you are to where you're meant to be. It takes you from doubt to faith, from fear to courage, from chaos to peace. It aligns your life with a greater purpose, a higher calling, a divine destiny that you may not have even known was waiting for you. These moments are not just fleeting glimpses of glory. They are life-changing encounters that shape the very essence of who you are and who you are becoming. Now, I know that not everyone believes in these kinds of moments. Some of you may be sitting here thinking that this is all just coincidence, just the result of chance or luck, and that's okay. But I challenge you to open your heart, to open your mind, to be willing to entertain the possibility that there is more to life than what meets the eye. I challenge you to look for the divine in the everyday, to see the fingerprints of God in the world around you, in the beauty of creation, in the kindness of others, in the stillness of your own heart. The truth is, whether we recognize it or not, God is always at work. God is always moving, always guiding, always shaping our lives in ways that we cannot even begin to understand. And sometimes we are given the gift of seeing it. We are given the privilege of witnessing a God moment, a moment that reminds us of who we are and who we are meant to be. And in that moment, we find peace, we find purpose, we find hope. So as we stand here together today in this sacred space, I ask you to be open. Be open to the miracles that are already happening. Be open to the divine presence that is always with you. Be open to the possibility that you are about to witness something so powerful, so life-changing, that it will forever alter the course of your life. Remember, a God moment is not just a one-time event. It's a way of seeing the world. It's a way of understanding that there is more to life than meets the eye. It's a way of recognizing the hand of the divine in every part of our existence, in every moment, in every person we encounter. And when we learn to see these moments, when we learn to recognize the sacred in the ordinary, we begin to live our lives with a sense of awe and wonder, knowing that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves. So as you leave here today, carry this message with you. Carry the awareness that you are always on the verge of a God moment. You don't have to wait for the heavens to open or for a bolt of lightning to strike. You don't have to wait for the grand dramatic event. The divine is already here, already at work in your life, already shaping your path. All you have to do is open your eyes, open your heart, and be ready to witness the miracle. Because the truth is, you are already living in the midst of a God moment. And when you see it, when you truly see it, you will know that the world is not as it seems. It's so much more beautiful, so much more meaningful, so much more divine. And that, my friends, is the moment that will change everything. A God moment is far more than a fleeting coincidence or a random event. It is a divine occurrence, an extraordinary instant where something beyond our understanding touches the fabric of our existence. These moments are often so profound that they shake us to our very core, realigning the chaos and confusion of our lives into a sense of divine order and purpose It's a moment that reminds us of something much greater than ourselves, a moment that elevates us and offers us a glimpse of the infinite. To truly understand the power of a God moment, we must first recognize that it is not confined to history's great miracles or world-changing events. It is not only the parting of the Red Sea or the turning of water into wine. It is not always the dramatic thunderclaps or lightning bolts we might expect when thinking of the divine. Instead, these moments can be found in the small, everyday occurrences that we often overlook. It's in the quiet whispers that reach us during a difficult time, the unexpected act of kindness that seems like it was sent from above, or the sense of peace that washes over us in moments of turbulence. These moments, though subtle, have the power to move mountains within our hearts. Consider for a moment the feeling you get when you experience something that feels perfectly timed or perfectly aligned with your needs. Perhaps it's when you meet someone you needed to meet, or when an opportunity presents itself just as you were about to give up. These moments, seemingly simple on the surface, are more than just good fortune. They are God moments, windows into the divine, reminders that there is a greater plan unfolding, even when we don't fully understand. They come when we are least expecting them, often when we are in the midst of struggle or doubt. It is in these moments that we sense the presence of something greater, something beyond our comprehension, and that is the essence of a God moment. These moments are not just a reflection of external circumstances. They also have a profound internal impact. A true God moment alters the way we see the world. It makes us aware of a higher power at work, a power that transcends time and space. It opens our eyes to the divine presence in the ordinary, whether in a shared glance, an intimate conversation, or even in the stillness of our own thought. For a moment, we step out of the noise of the world and tune into a frequency that connects us to something eternal. In these brief seconds, we realize that we are not isolated in our experiences. We are part of a much larger story, one written by a force far greater than anything we could have imagined. And yet, God moments often come with an element of surprise. They are not predictable, nor are they something we can force into existence. They emerge when the timing is right, when our hearts and minds are open, and when we are prepared to receive them. In a sense, they cannot be manufactured or anticipated. They come as gifts. This is part of their power. Their arrival is not about our efforts to create them, but about our ability to recognize them when they appear. A God moment might come in the form of a sudden realization, a flash of insight, or a peaceful resolve in the face of chaos. It's a fleeting sense of clarity amidst confusion, a gift of understanding, or a deep knowing that something bigger is at work. What makes God moments even more profound is their ability to realign our lives. When they occur, they often serve as markers in time, marking a moment of transformation. They can redirect our paths, shift our perspectives, or offer us the strength to persevere in ways we never imagined. It is as if the moment itself contains a truth that unlocks our potential, helping us to see clearly what we could not see before. Our doubts fade, our fears dissipate, and we find ourselves more in tune with the divine purpose that underlies our lives. In these moments, we remember that we are not merely passive observers of life. We are participants in a sacred journey with a role to play in the greater tapestry of existence. The beauty of a God moment is that it does not follow a script, nor does it require us to be in a certain place or situation. It doesn't matter if we are rich or poor, successful or struggling, happy or broken. God moments transcend all of these earthly distinctions. They are available to everyone at any time and in any place. In fact, some of the most powerful God moments come when we are at our lowest, when we are struggling to find our way, when we are wrestling with the uncertainties of life. In those moments, the divine enters into our darkness, offering us light, hope, and guidance in ways we could never have predicted. The significance of a God moment is not limited to how it changes us in the moment, but also to how it reverberates long after. Even after the moment has passed, its impact can linger in our hearts and minds. It leaves a mark on us, a deeper sense of awareness that we carry with us into the future. These moments become part of our spiritual story, woven into the fabric of our journey, shaping the way we interact with the world and others. They become the touchstones we return to when we feel lost, reminding us of that divine connection that transcends our everyday lives. Ultimately, the power of a God moment lies in its ability to break through the ordinary, to reveal something sacred in the mundane. It's a reminder that despite how complex or chaotic life may seem, there is a purpose and underlying order and beauty that connects everything. These moments open our eyes to the divine, allowing us to see with new eyes, hear with new ears, and feel with a deeper sense of the infinite presence that surrounds us. The power of a God moment is in its ability to remind us of who we truly are. Beloved children of the Creator, walking in the presence of the divine, ready to experience the extraordinary, even in the midst of the ordinary. When we think of God moments, our minds often race to the grand and dramatic, those towering events that seem to stretch the limits of possibility. We imagine scenes from ancient texts or stories passed down through generations, the parting of the Red Sea, the blind receiving sight, or the miraculous healing of the sick. These are the kind of moments that stir our hearts and capture our imaginations. They stand as monumental markers in history, seemingly unreachable and reserved for the truly divine. However, the true power of God moments isn't always found in these grand, earth-shaking events. Sometimes the most profound divine moments happen in the quiet, almost imperceptible occurrences that we encounter every day. A God moment is not limited to what we often perceive as miraculous. While healing the sick or splitting seas certainly qualifies as divine act, the grace of these moments isn't confined to dramatic displays of power. More often than not, the God moments that shape our lives happen in the humdrum of everyday existence. They happen in those soft, fleeting moments that pass us by before we even realize their significance. They could be as simple as a stranger holding the door open for us on a tough day, or the kind words of a friend when we are feeling lost or defeated. These quiet instances are no less divine than the grand miracles we associate with God's power. In fact, they may be even more potent because they show us that God is working not just in the extraordinary, but also in the ordinary. One of the most subtle yet profound God moments we may encounter is an unexpected gesture of kindness, especially when we need it most. In our busy, often disconnected lives, it's easy to overlook the small acts of kindness that others offer us. Yet these moments have a profound impact. A smile from a stranger when you're feeling alone, a phone call from a friend just when you need encouragement, or even an unsolicited note of appreciation from a colleague. It's in these moments that we often experience God's presence in a deeply personal way. These acts are not dramatic or earth-shattering, but they are powerful reminders of God's love and grace. They come just when we are about to give up, when our hope seems lost, and they remind us that we are not alone. These smaller God moments are often tied to personal transformation. Transformation doesn't always happen in a grand moment of divine intervention. Sometimes it's a slow, quiet process, a gentle unfolding that happens over time. It's in those moments when we realize we've grown, when we see a shift in our perspective or a change in our heart. It's a gentle nudge to take a different path, to forgive when we didn't think we could, or to love in a way that we hadn't before. These quiet moments of transformation are divine in their own right because they help us become the person we are meant to be. They reveal God's work within us, moving us from one place to another, from fear to faith, from bitterness to compassion, from isolation to connection. Similarly, God moments often appear in the midst of chaos, in those instances when the world feels like it is falling apart. It's easy to think that divine presence only exists in the calm and peaceful moments, but God is just as present in the storm. In fact, it's often when the storm is at its fiercest that we are most likely to encounter a God moment. These moments may come in the form of an unexpected sense of peace, a stillness in our hearts that defies the chaos surrounding us. It's when we feel an inexplicable sense of calm in the middle of a crisis, a knowing that everything will be okay even though the world is spinning out of control. This peace is not the absence of turmoil. Rather, it is the presence of God amidst the turmoil. It's a quiet reminder that even in the most chaotic of times, we are not forgotten. Furthermore, God moments aren't always loud or attention-grabbing. We might be going through life in a constant rush, ticking off tasks from our to-do lists, checking our emails, or making calls. In the whirlwind of our daily routines, it's easy to miss the quiet grace that passes by in the form of a small blessing. Yet it's in these moments that God's presence is most powerfully felt. It could be the sudden realization that we've been forgiven, or the spontaneous feeling of gratitude when we think of the blessings in our life. It could even be a moment of self-reflection where we realize we've come a long way, that we are not the same person we once were, and that change is happening slowly but surely within us. These moments may not be loud or dramatic, but they are incredibly powerful because they open our eyes to the subtle, quiet ways that God is at work in our lives. The truth is, many of us are so focused on seeking out the big miracles, the loud, dramatic moments, that we fail to recognize the small miracles that occur every day. We are waiting for a parting of the seas or a miraculous healing when, in reality, God's presence might be more evident in the kindness of a neighbor, the warmth of a shared laugh, or the unexpected relief we feel in a moment of stress. These quiet moments may not seem like much, but they are the threads that weave together the fabric of our spiritual lives. They remind us that God's work is not limited to the extraordinary, but is present in the mundane, the everyday, and the ordinary moments of life. When we start to notice and appreciate these small moments, we begin to see how intertwined God is in every aspect of our existence. Life becomes richer when we can see God's hand in the small things. We start to recognize the divine in the simple act of breathing, in the changing of the seasons, in the laughter of children, in the stillness of dawn, and in the quiet moments of connection with others. It's when we begin to notice these small instances of grace that we realize God's presence is always with us, not in the grandiose, but in the everyday. So the next time you find yourself waiting for a dramatic moment of divine intervention, take a moment to look around you. The God moment you're waiting for may already be happening quietly and beautifully in the small acts of kindness, personal transformation, and peace that surround you every day. And in those moments you will find the divine presence, not in the noise, but in the quiet. In our fast-paced world where we are constantly bombarded with distractions and demands on our time, it's easy to become numb to the beauty and miracles unfolding around us. We wake up to an alarm, rush through our day with a checklist of tasks, and often go to bed with our minds still racing. In this constant state of busyness, we can miss the small but significant moments that have the potential to change our lives. A God moment, when it appears, is not always immediately recognizable. It doesn't always come with flashing lights or loud announcements. It often slips into our lives quietly, hidden within the ordinary moments of our day. This is why awareness is key. The ability to recognize a God moment is not something that happens automatically. It requires intentionality. We need to actively create space in our lives for reflection, stillness, and openness. Without this, we risk moving through life on autopilot, passing by the subtle ways that the divine is trying to reach us. God moments don't always come with dramatic fanfare. They are often small, quiet whispers or gentle nudges that we may miss if we are not paying attention. The miracle might be a conversation that shifts our perspective, a random act of kindness that catches us off guard, or a moment of peace in the midst of chaos. These moments are miraculous because they connect us with something bigger than ourselves. but they can be easily overlooked if we are not aware enough to notice them. Awareness is a practice, a conscious decision to slow down, to pause, and to engage with life in a more present way. It's about noticing the small things, the way the sunlight filters through the trees, the sound of a bird singing, or the kindness of a stranger. These may seem insignificant on their own, but when we begin to pay attention, we realize they are part of a larger divine pattern that's unfolding around us. Life, in all its complexity, is woven with these moments. They don't demand our attention, but if we are open and present, we can see the divine hand at work in the ordinary details of our lives. One of the biggest challenges we face in cultivating awareness is the noise of life. We are constantly surrounded by information, technology, and people pulling us in different directions. This noise can easily drown out the subtle signals that God might be trying to send us. The busyness of our schedules often keeps us from being in the moment, which makes it difficult to recognize when something profound happens. We rush through our days without truly experiencing them, always looking ahead to the next task or appointment. In doing so, we miss the chance to witness the miracles that may be quietly unfolding right in front of us. A key part of awareness is learning to quiet the mind. When we are constantly preoccupied with the future or the past, it becomes nearly impossible to appreciate the present. The present moment is where God's miracles often happen. They don't exist in the past, nor are they always found in the future. They are here now. The ability to recognize the divine in the present moment requires us to focus, to be still, and to clear away the distractions that prevent us from fully experiencing life. In the stillness, we become more attuned to the small signs, the subtle gestures, and the quiet moments that reveal something much greater than we might first realize. When we become aware, we begin to understand that God moments are not always about receiving something spectacular or extraordinary. They are about being deeply connected to the moment, to the experience, and to the divine. A simple conversation with a friend might suddenly feel full of meaning, or a quiet moment of solitude might fill us with a profound sense of peace. These are the moments where God's presence is felt most intimately. They don't need to be dramatic to have a lasting impact. Their significance comes from the depth of connection they offer. Awareness also allows us to recognize how deeply interconnected everything is. We often think of our lives as separate from others, and we can easily become consumed with our own struggles, challenges, and concerns. However, when we open our eyes to the miracles around us, we begin to see that we are all part of a larger divine narrative. God moments often occur in connection with others, whether it's a kind word spoken at just the right moment or the support we receive during a challenging time. By being aware, we begin to see the threads that link us all together, threads of love, grace, and divine purpose that run through our relationships and interactions. The beauty of awareness is that it opens us up to possibility. When we cultivate an awareness of God's presence in our lives, we are more likely to experience the miraculous in our daily routines. We begin to expect the extraordinary in the ordinary. We begin to notice the subtle shifts in our hearts, the moments of clarity that help us make better decisions, and the quiet guidance that leads us down the right path. With awareness, life becomes richer, more meaningful, and more connected to the divine. But perhaps the most profound aspect of awareness is how it transforms us. When we become more attuned to the miracles around us, we start to approach life with a greater sense of gratitude, openness, and awe. We no longer take our experiences for granted. We see each moment as an opportunity to connect with the divine and to witness God's work in the world. This awareness doesn't just help us recognize God moments, it helps us create them. It encourages us to be present for others, to offer kindness, to act with love, and to be more intentional in our interactions. In doing so, we become conduits of divine grace, helping others recognize the miracles in their own lives. Awareness, in its simplest form, is the act of showing up. It's about being fully present, paying attention, and being open to the divine presence that surrounds us. It's about slowing down long enough to see the beauty in the details, to hear the whispers of grace, and to feel the presence of something greater. In a world that is often overwhelming and fast-paced, awareness is the key to witnessing the God moments that are waiting for us every day. A God moment is not bound by time or space, and it is not limited to a particular place, culture, or period in history. It exists everywhere, waiting to be recognized in every moment of our lives, no matter where we are or what we are doing. We often think of divine intervention or miraculous events as being tied to certain historical periods or physical locations. We may imagine God moments as being reserved for ancient times, marked by dramatic events like the parting of the Red Sea or the ascension of holy figures. These are events that are deeply etched into religious texts and cultural narratives, and for many they represent the pinnacle of divine intervention. However, the true nature of God moments is that they transcend the limitations of time and space. They are not confined to specific locations or grand historical moments, but are instead woven throughout every moment of our lives, accessible to all people, regardless of their background, faith, or personal circumstances. The divine operates in mysterious ways, and part of this mystery is that the miraculous can happen anywhere and at any time. We tend to think of miracles as rare and extraordinary events, moments that interrupt the natural order of things and defy the laws of physics. But in reality, God moments are not always grand in their outward form. They are sometimes found in the most ordinary of circumstances. A God moment can occur while you're sitting quietly in your home, walking down the street, or having an ordinary conversation with a friend. It can be experienced in a crowded train station, a quiet moment of reflection, or during a routine day at work. These moments don't require a special setting. They happen wherever we are open and aware enough to recognize them. One of the profound truths about God moments is that they are not confined to any particular group of people. We may associate certain miraculous moments with specific religious communities or spiritual practices, but in reality, the divine is available to everyone. It doesn't matter if you follow a particular faith, live in a specific country, or adhere to certain traditions. The divine works outside of these boundaries, making God moments universally accessible. A God moment can happen to anyone, regardless of their religious beliefs, their cultural background, or their personal circumstances. The divine is not selective, and it does not require that we meet specific criteria to experience its presence. It simply requires that we are open, aware, and willing to receive the grace and guidance that is being offered to us at all times. The beauty of God moments is that they have no expiration date. They are not bound by the past, nor are they dependent on the future. They exist in the present moment where time and space converge. While we may look to the past for guidance or to the future for hope, God moments are deeply embedded in the now. They are opportunities to connect with the divine in the present, regardless of where we have been or where we are headed. This transcendent quality allows us to experience the divine at any point in our lives, no matter how much time has passed or what we have experienced along the way. A person who has gone through years of hardship may have a God moment that brings them healing and understanding, just as someone who has led a peaceful life might experience a moment of divine revelation that guides them to a new path. The divine does not measure time in the way we do. God moments are not limited to our timeline. They exist outside of it, showing up when we are most in need, or sometimes when we least expect them. The transformative nature of God moments becomes even more powerful when we realize that they are not bound by geographical location. We often think of sacred places, churches, temples, shrines, as the only places where we might encounter the divine. While these places are sacred, they are not the only places where God can reveal itself. The divine does not reside only in temples or holy sites. It is present everywhere, in the mundane as well as the extraordinary. A God moment can occur in a bustling city, in a quiet forest, or in the comfort of your own home. It is not about being in the right place, but about being in the right state of mind, open to the possibility of encountering the divine no matter where you are. Because God moments transcend time and space, they also have the power to bring unity across divides. In a world that is often divided by culture, religion, and geography, the fact that these moments are universally accessible means that they can bridge gaps and bring people together. People from different walks of life with different beliefs and backgrounds can experience the same divine presence, recognizing the shared humanity that connects them all. This shared experience of God moments can foster empathy, understanding, and a sense of collective purpose. In a world that sometimes feels fractured, these moments remind us of the common thread of the divine that runs through all of us. Perhaps one of the most profound aspects of God moments is their ability to make the ordinary extraordinary. When we experience a God moment, we are suddenly transported beyond the ordinary limitations of our daily lives. The moment becomes infused with meaning, transforming the routine into something sacred. A simple walk in the park can turn into a moment of profound insight. A conversation with a loved one can open our hearts in unexpected ways, or a quiet pause can bring a sense of peace and clarity that we had been searching for. These moments help us see that life is not simply a series of random events, but a tapestry woven with divine meaning. By recognizing the transcendent nature of these moments, we begin to see that every aspect of our lives can be touched by the divine. Ultimately, the fact that God moments transcend time and space is a reminder of the boundless nature of the divine. The miraculous is not limited to one place, one people, or one time. It is available to all at any time, in any place. The key to experiencing these moments lies in our openness to the divine, our willingness to be present and aware, and our ability to recognize that the sacred is woven into every moment of our lives. God moments are not fleeting or confined to certain spaces. They are an ongoing part of the human experience, available to us whenever we choose to see them. Through these moments, we are reminded that the divine is always with us, transcending time, space, and circumstance, ready to transform our ordinary lives into something extraordinary. A God moment is not merely an event that stands out in our memory. It is a catalyst for transformation. The true power of witnessing such a moment lies in its ability to change us at a core level. These moments are not just fleeting instances of awe or wonder. They have the potential to propel us into new dimensions of growth and understanding. When we encounter a God moment, we are invited to step beyond our current limitations and embrace a higher calling, a deeper purpose. These moments challenge us to become better versions of ourselves, to evolve into the people we were always meant to be. The transformation that comes from witnessing or experiencing a God moment is often profound, reshaping our hearts, minds, and action. One of the most significant ways that God moments lead to transformation is by challenging us to overcome our fears. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that hold us back in life. It keeps us from stepping into our full potential, limits our dreams, and often convinces us that we are not capable of greatness. But a God moment can shatter these fears, opening our eyes to the truth that we are not alone and that we are supported by something far greater than ourselves. In a moment of divine clarity or intervention, we realize that the fear we've been holding on to is often an illusion. We may suddenly find the courage to take risks, make bold decisions, or move forward into the unknown, trusting that the divine presence will guide us. These moments often shift our perspective, showing us that we are far stronger and more capable than we believed. Fear gives way to courage, and we are empowered to move forward with faith and confidence. Likewise, God moments can take us from doubt to faith. Doubt is a natural part of the human experience. We all face moments of uncertainty where the path ahead seems unclear and our beliefs are tested. During these times, it can be difficult to hold on to hope, and our faith may feel fragile. But in the presence of a God moment, doubt often gives way to a deeper trust. These moments serve as reminders of God's faithfulness and presence, even when we cannot see the full picture. Whether it's a small miracle that we witness, a prayer answered in a way that we didn't expect, or a deep sense of peace that floods our hearts in a moment of crisis, these God moments strengthen our faith. They remind us that there is more to life than what we can see with our eyes, and they invite us to place our trust in a higher power even when we don't have all the answers. Through these moments, our doubt is replaced by a deeper, more unwavering faith, and we learn to walk in trust even in the midst of uncertainty. Another profound way that God moments transform us is by taking us from chaos to peace. Life has a way of throwing us into storms, be it in the form of personal struggles, relational conflicts, or external challenges. These storms often feel overwhelming, and we can easily get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions, thoughts, and uncertainties that come with them. Yet a God moment has the power to bring us peace in the midst of the chaos. It may come as a sudden sense of calm, a deep inner stillness that emerges even when everything around us is in turmoil. This peace is not the absence of challenges. Rather, it is a sense of divine presence that allows us to remain centered and grounded, no matter what is happening externally. Through a God moment, we may realize that we don't need to control every aspect of our lives or have all the answers. Instead, we are reminded that we can surrender our worries and anxieties, trusting that the divine will guide us through the storm. This peace is transformative because it shifts our focus from external circumstances to an internal sense of security and trust. No matter what happens in the world around us, we can find peace in knowing that we are not alone. These moments are not only transformative because of what they take us away from, but also because of what they move us toward. God moments have a way of aligning our hearts with a greater purpose, awakening us to the deeper meaning behind our lives. In these moments, we often receive a sense of clarity about who we are and what we are meant to do. We may feel a pull toward a specific path, a calling that we had previously overlooked or been unsure about. A God moment can reveal to us the deeper desires of our heart, helping us to align our actions with our true purpose. This kind of transformation is profound because it invites us to step into our fullest potential. We begin to see ourselves not just as individuals working through life's challenges, but as participants in a divine plan, with a role to play in the greater unfolding of the universe. These moments help us step into a life that is more intentional, more purposeful, and more aligned with our deepest values. In addition, God moments often teach us the power of gratitude and perspective. Transformation through a God moment doesn't only occur when we experience divine intervention or miraculous occurrences. It also happens when we shift our perspective and begin to recognize the everyday blessings that surround us. A God moment might simply be a deep appreciation for the small things, the beauty of nature, the love of a family member, or the simple joy of being alive. These moments of clarity can help us move from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, from focusing on what we lack to appreciating what we have. This transformation shifts our focus from self-centeredness to a more expansive awareness of the blessings in our lives, helping us live with more gratitude, grace, and joy. God moments have a way of awakening the divine potential within us, inviting us to become more than we thought possible. They challenge us to grow and evolve, to step beyond our limitations and embrace the fullness of who we are meant to be. These moments are not always easy or comfortable. They may come with a sense of discomfort as they challenge us to face our fears, doubts, and insecurities. But in the end, they are always worth it. The transformation that occurs through a God moment is not just a change in our external circumstances, but a shift in our hearts, minds, and souls. These moments serve as the divine catalysts that propel us forward on our journey of growth, helping us to become the people we were always meant to be. And in that process, we discover a deeper connection to the divine, to our purpose, and to the world around us. When we begin to live with the awareness that God moments are happening all around us, our lives take on a new perspective. It's as if a veil is lifted, and suddenly we start seeing the world in a completely different light. Instead of moving through life with a sense of disconnection or randomness, we begin to perceive the intricate threads of a divine narrative weaving together every moment, event, and encounter. This shift in perception doesn't just change how we see the world, it changes how we experience it. We begin to recognize that every moment, every interaction, and every experience is an opportunity to encounter the divine. Life is no longer just a series of events happening to us. It becomes a divine story that we are a part of, a story filled with meaning, purpose, and grace. Living with the awareness of God moments means that we stop viewing the world as a chaotic, disjointed collection of experiences. Instead, we start to understand that everything has a place in the greater tapestry of life. The small details we once overlooked, the smile of a stranger, the perfect timing of an encounter, or the unexpected kindness shown to us, are no longer seen as coincidences, but as signs of something larger at work. We begin to understand that these are not random occurrences. They are pieces of a divine puzzle, carefully orchestrated moments that are leading us towards something greater. Every moment becomes an opportunity to witness the miraculous, and every interaction becomes a chance to connect with the divine. One of the most transformative aspects of living in the awareness of God moments is learning to see the hand of the divine in the ordinary. So often we get caught up in the busyness of life and forget that the miraculous can be found in the simplest of moments. We may rush through our days chasing after goals and checking off to-do lists, only to miss the beauty and significance of the present moment. But when we start to live with awareness, we begin to see that God's presence is not limited to grand moments of revelation or supernatural experiences. It's in the quiet moments as well, in the soft rustle of leaves in the wind, in the laughter shared with friends, in the warmth of a hug, in the peaceful solitude of a morning sunrise. These are the moments that often carry the most profound meaning, and when we begin to look for the divine in these everyday occurrences, we begin to experience life with a deep sense of reverence. This awareness also helps us embrace the miraculous in the mundane. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the most important moments in life are the big dramatic events, the career achievements, the milestones, the moments of success. While these moments are significant, they are not the only ones that hold value. In fact, the small, seemingly insignificant moments can often carry the deepest divine truths. A God moment doesn't have to be an earth-shattering event. It can be a quiet shift in perspective, a subtle feeling of peace in the midst of stress, or an unexpected moment of clarity. When we live with the awareness that these moments are happening, we start to recognize that the ordinary moments are just as important as the extraordinary ones. This shift in perspective allows us to cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude and awe for the simple blessings that we might otherwise overlook. Living with the awareness of God moments also transforms how we approach relationships. We begin to see each person we encounter as a part of a larger divine plan, and every interaction becomes an opportunity to experience God's presence. Whether it's a conversation with a friend, a moment of connection with a family member, or an encounter with a stranger, we start to recognize that there is meaning in every exchange. These moments become sacred, and we start to approach them with more intentionality, kindness, and openness. We begin to listen more attentively, speak more thoughtfully, and act with more compassion, recognizing that each interaction is an opportunity to witness the divine working in and through others. This heightened awareness also leads to a deeper sense of gratitude. When we begin to notice the God moments in our lives, we naturally develop a greater sense of appreciation for everything that surrounds us. We become more grateful for the small blessings, the sunshine on a rainy day, the support of a friend during a difficult time, the quiet moments of reflection. Gratitude becomes an integral part of our daily lives, and this gratitude helps to cultivate a deeper sense of peace and contentment. As we start to recognize the miraculous in the mundane, we stop taking life for granted. Every moment becomes a gift, and every experience is an opportunity to thank the divine for its presence. Another profound effect of living with the awareness of God moments is that we begin to feel more connected to the world around us. We start to see how our lives are intricately woven into the lives of others, and how our actions, no matter how small, have a ripple effect on the greater narrative of the world. We begin to recognize the interconnectedness of all things, the way that each moment, each encounter, and each choice is a thread in a larger tapestry of divine love and purpose. This awareness fosters a sense of unity and belonging as we recognize that we are not alone in this journey. We are all part of something much bigger than ourselves, and we have a role to play in the unfolding of the divine story. And living in the awareness of God moments also challenges us to become more present in our daily lives. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the rush of things and to miss the beauty of the present moment. But when we start to live with the understanding that God is always present, we become more attuned to the world around us. We begin to see the beauty in the simplest of things, to feel more deeply the joy and pain of others, and to be more mindful of the way we move through the world. We learn to be more present with ourselves and others, to savor the moments, and to live fully in the here and now. This presence allows us to experience life more deeply, to be more mindful of our thoughts and actions, and to cultivate a greater sense of peace and contentment. In many ways, living in the awareness of God moments is an invitation to slow down and savor life. It's a call to open our eyes to the divine that is already present in every moment, in every encounter, and in every breath. It challenges us to live with a sense of awe and reverence, to recognize that the miraculous is woven into the fabric of the ordinary. When we start to live in this awareness, we no longer see the world as a random collection of events, but as a divine narrative unfolding before us. We become more connected to the divine, more attuned to the miracles that are happening all around us, and more grateful for the beauty and wonder of life. In doing so, we transform our experience of the world, living each moment with a deep sense of purpose, love, and gratitude